Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to address one of the absolute most hilarious theories that I see thrown around, and it's in my comments section all the time. Whenever I tell people, look, there's problems with keto diets, there's definitely problems with carnivore diets. It's interesting, the people who follow these always believe there's some conspiracy by agriculture or food world to get people to eat more plants. And there's some problems with this hypothesis. And I'm going to state this in a way that should be logical and reasonable for everyone to understand. And I'm not going to say this in an anti-business way because I understand how business works. Business is there to generate profits, right? Companies exist to make money. I think everyone understands this. And I'm not even going to bash on, say, the beef industry because I have worked on a cattle ranch. My family owned a cattle ranch, right? My dad sold it at one time when I was a young man. But my family have been cattle ranchers. They were for a couple generations, right? I have eaten my share of grass-fed beef when younger, even when I first started training, when I first started lifting. My family had 500 head of registered Brangus cattle who lived in a pasture. I had access to a lot of grass-fed beef. So let's get that out of the way. I have literally worked cattle, right? I've run them through the chutes. I've vaccinated them. I've made steers, all that stuff. I have done these things. It's been over 20 years, but I have done it. So when they make these claims, what is silly is they're forgetting agriculture and the people who grow crops are going to make money no matter what. They have zero financial vested interest in you eating more crops. In fact, if anything, they could technically make more money if you eat beef and pork. Why? Because those animals need to eat. Well, what do you think they're fed? Okay? What do you think they're fed? In fact, they can be fed roughage that it's harder to feed to humans. In fact, they can be fed the stuff that isn't always even fit for human consumption from the crops. Okay? This is profitable for them. For you to eat red meat and dairy and all that stuff is no loss to people who grow crops at all. They're not losing anything from it. If anything, they're making more money. They have no interest in this. There's no profit to be made for them to promote anyone eating more plants at all. Zero. That is a stupid conspiracy theory. I mean, stupid. I mean, some conspiracy theories can make sense. That one is so stupid that the people clearly can't do basic math. They don't seem to understand how food works. All right. What is a big industry that stands to profit from you doing low carbs and eating more meat and dairy? How about the people who grow that stuff? They stand to make money. Okay. Also, and the data does not support, again, I have researched this heavily as someone who has eaten a lot of meat in the past, who lives here in Texas and have even looked at the data on food quality, beef quality from Texas A&M University in their agricultural science department, because they care about this stuff a lot. The beef industry's kind of big down here in Texas. The universities are a big part of that. Food science, agricultural science. It's kind of a big deal. I've looked at the data they were putting out 10, 20 years ago. There's not a substantial quality difference in the grass-fed beef. Grass-fed beef is a business down here in Texas. Again, my family used to make money at it. Not massive, not an enormous operation, but it was part of my family business. Okay? Do you want to know who's got a bigger business overall? People who are raising grass-fed cattle. There's people who stand to really profit from this movement. Guess what? How many of them have business deals with influencers who push low carb, keto diets, high red meat diets, all this stuff? Well, those people, you don't think they have any sponsorships and financial deals with these different online influencers who are pushing these diets? You don't think there's business being done back and forth? You don't think these influencers are then getting money off this? They have a vested interest in people following this sort of fad diet. They make money at it. And again, I get it. It's business. It's business. But if we're going to pretend that there isn't a business that stands to make money by pushing these diets, the meat and dairy industry stands to make a fortune by more people eating this way. They have a financial vested interest in sponsoring studies for this. They have a serious financial interest because unlike the plants that can be fed to people or the animals, they're not making money. They're losing money if people aren't eating this stuff. Okay, so they have an interest in it. And please note, I am not saying that's evil. I don't take any sort of ethical stance on that. When I do mostly plant-based, it's for health. I absolutely have no moral issues with this. Okay, I don't have a moral issue with a grass-fed beef grower raising cattle and selling the meat. Okay, I want to be clear there. I have no problem with this. But understand, they have a marketing interest in it. They do deals with these people. This is actual business. The other is no stake in it. Crops and agriculture are massive and required for the human race to exist any way you break it down. As long as the population's big, they're going to make money. 7 billion people on Earth. Okay? They're good. This other industry requires more selective dietary choices. So be aware of that when you start spouting theories, because these people absolutely sponsor these things. Okay? So when you look at low-carb diet research and things like that, research on dairy, the milk manufacturers and people, they do sponsor these things. They do pay for it, and it is in their best interest. All right? So just be aware of that. And again, I am not saying it in a negative manner towards these companies, okay? These are businesses that people need to feed their families. I get it. Right? And I don't necessarily think it's an unethical business. But let's be honest, this is not optimal for health. And for people to pretend whenever I promote the other and talk about eating plants and fruits and vegetables, that I am somehow buying into propaganda research by corporations. No, guys. I can assure you that there's no one's paying for that. Those foods are going to exist no matter what. And then people say the same thing, oh, what about Big Pharma? Pfizer makes Lipitor, guys. No one's LDL cholesterol is going up from eating soy. It goes down. No one's LDL is going up from eating broccoli and bananas. It goes down. It makes your LDL go up. Saturated fat. Red meat, dairy, eggs. All right, so you want to talk about Big Pharma, who makes Lipitor, Pfizer. You don't think they have maybe a financial interest in this sort of diet? I think they do. Because go look at the forums of all these keto people. They all have elevated LDL. While they scream it's not a big deal. Yeah, your medical doctor thinks it's a big deal. Pfizer thinks it's a big deal. See what I mean? You're setting yourself up to benefit from their prescription. So again, if we're going to talk about big corporations or big business making money, they make a hell of a lot more profit. A hell of a lot more profit on multiple fronts if you're following an all red meat, egg, and dairy diet. Okay? They make a hell of a lot more money. Who do you think that you're kidding? I mean, how insane of a theory. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.